This is the National Geographic Sea Bird, and here is your look inside. In this tour, we'll take you all around the seabird so you can see what it's like to live aboard a National Geographic and Lindblad vessel. Stick around to the end, because we'll even take you inside the bridge. First stop is our cabin. So this is our little room. We are in room 200, really close to the bow on the upper deck, or 200 level deck. As you can see, we have two little single beds. They're really cozy, really comfy. And the awesome thing is we have tons of storage. More storage than we need, actually. And of course, for us, most of our storage is filled with gear. We also have our own little sink, and oh my gosh, they're really sweet. They gave us these really beautiful water bottles that we get to take home. Of course, we've turned that whole sink station also kind of into our charging station for all the camera batteries. And we even have our own head. So we have our own toilet, which is actually also a shower. So we are loving our little space. You know us, we are used to living in tiny spaces together. And so we're just pinching ourselves that this is the space we get to call home for the next 4 nights. The Seabird has 31 guest cabins across 3 decks, the main deck, the upper deck, and the bridge deck. She can host a maximum of 62 guests and 29 crew, which is pretty awesome. For a little perspective, here is your average 3,500 passenger cruise ship, and here is the Seabird. At 152 feet long and 31 feet wide, this ship was built to maneuver and adventure in places where larger ships simply cannot go. She was built in 1981 in Seattle, Washington, along with her sister ship, the Sea Lion. Both were designed with exploration in mind, equipped with microscopes, hydrophones, and a fleet of landing craft. The Seabird is equipped with 4 Mark V Zodiacs and a fleet of single and double kayaks. These are used to further explore and get up close and personal with the landscape. Our favorite space in the Seabird is the lounge, located on the main deck. This room feels kind of like the beating heart of the expedition. A lot goes on here. First, this is where guests can relax during cruising time. The lounge has a bar and is stocked with snacks and drinks throughout the day, including an endless supply of espresso. The lounge is also where the group gathers to learn from the ship's onboard experts and naturalists. Every evening there is a cocktail hour with a full spread, followed by an interesting talk about the flora, fauna, and natural history of whatever region the ship is currently exploring. The lounge's media station is even equipped with a microscope for enhancing that educational side of the journey. At night, the lounge is a great space for late night work or just visiting and making new friends before heading to bed. Now let's shift gears and take a look outside, starting with the upper deck. Along the starboard side, guest cabins open up directly to the deck. It's great because it gives the sense of having your own balcony that just connects to the rest of the ship. Coming up to the bow, there is our cabin, cabin 200. At the bow is the observation deck, our other favorite part of the ship. It is pretty amazing to cruise through jaw-dropping scenery, taking it all in from this observation deck. Moving on, the port side of the main deck also has guest cabins opening up directly to the deck. We are currently cruising through Alaska's Inside Passage, and you can imagine waking up to this scenery right outside your cabin window. At the stern are fridges full of fresh ingredients for the kitchen and some seating space. Now we go up onto the bridge deck. The stern of the bridge deck has a wide open space for multiple uses. We will come back to that. Just like below, guest cabins open up directly to the deck on the port side. If you're wondering how the Seabird handles, the ride so far has been incredibly smooth, though that is the beauty of the Inside Passage. There is the door to the bridge, which you are actually going to see next. Just in front of the bridge is another great observation spot, and someone had the brilliant idea of permanently fixing an action cam mount here, which we are super grateful for. The starboard side also has guest cabins opening up to the deck, and at the very end is the Lek Spa massage room. At the back of the bridge deck is the sun deck, which is used here for morning yoga and stretching classes. This space is also equipped with exercise equipment and seating for outdoor meals and sunbathing. Though those probably come more in handy when the Sea Bird is cruising the coast of Baja rather than Alaska's Inside Passage. You might be curious where we get on and off the Zodiacs and kayaks. That takes place at the stern of the main deck. And that concludes the tour of the outside of the Sea Bird. Now let's go check out that bridge. So one of the cool things about this ship is that it has an open bridge policy. So we can actually go inside the bridge and see what it's like in there. So is this basically like from above? Is that what it's seeing? Like,
yeah, it's a top down, but it's pretty much just what you're seeing on the surface of the water.
If the lounge is the beating heart of the ship, then the bridge is the brain. This is Command Central. And it is really cool that the Sea Bird has an open bridge policy, allowing guests to come in and check things out. Unless, of course, the crew needs to focus on tricky maneuvering or foul weather. Other than that, the doors are open. And finally, the dining room, located near the lounge on the main deck. The dining room is similar to the lounge, just with fine dining tables. Breakfast is buffet style and super hearty. Lunch and dinner are incredible. Aboard the Sea Bird, we are hit with amazing meal after amazing meal. Now that you have toured the Sea Bird, you might be curious what it's like to actually experience a National Geographic and Lindblad expedition. If you are, you should definitely check out episode 33, where we travel for 6 days aboard the Sea Bird through Alaska's wild and untamed Inside Passage. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a like.
Subscribe to our channel.
Send us a comment below. And for exclusive content and a behind-the-scenes view of the Art We There Yet journey,
Join us on Patreon.
see you over on Patreon.